Is there a perfect time for creative persons to write their material down? Lyricists, songwriters, poets, speechwriters. And I'll say no, there's no such thing as a perfect time. One thing is for sure, you've got to be prepared. As the saying goes, if you're unprepared, you are prepared to fail. And so you always have to have your material around you, your phone, your tablet, your paper, napkin, something on which you can write, especially if you're getting older and you can't retain the volume of material that you once were able to retain. There has to be a vehicle by which you can transport those thoughts from your mind onto something tangible. And so, for instance, you're at a dinner table and a song or a poem or a speech or something, you know, came across your mind. Well, dinner has to go on hold. You gotta find a way to put that material down. And I'll tell you why. The most important time, as it were, to write down your material, it's when it's fresh in your mind, when there is a window. And if you allow the window to shut, it is almost impossible for you to recapture the original state of that piece of work, be it a poem, a song, whatever it is. You got to capture it in that moment when that creative juice is flowing, when something is being downloaded in your mind. It's called an inspiration. You've got to capture that. You've got to seize the moment. If you allow the moment to pass by being casual, by being lazy, by being indifferent, then you would have missed out maybe on something special. Maybe you're a songwriter. You would have missed out on a potential number one or top 10 or life changing song because you are not alert to what you're called to do. And so the best time to write, I would say, is in that moment when the inspiration is flowing. Now, there are planned sessions of writing, and that's different. But I'm talking, impromptu. I'm talking when you're in that moment, when you're sitting down having your cup of coffee, or you're driving on the highway, or you're with friends, or you're just walking by the beach, and a thought comes across your mind. You can't trifle with that. You can't play with that. So, if you are a young lyricist or poet or songwriter, and you struggle with the question, when is the best time to write my material down? The best time that I have known, and this is just my experience, is in those first 5 to 10 minutes when the inspiration is flowing like a river, flowing like a sea, cascading like powerful waters, and you can't help yourself. There's some songs that just they just flow in your mind. You didn't sit down and plan them. There's nothing script about them. It's just an inspiration. And those are quality songs, quality poem, quality speech because there is an inspiration being downloaded in you. And so be alert to what your mind is saying to you. Be alert to what the inspiration that's flowing in your mind. Be alert to your environment. You always got to be ready. Have your phone, have your tablet, have something around you which you can scribble even the thought. What you're going to get at first is just the thought, the concept. But that concept forms the kernel or the base of what your song is going to be. For me, I mainly get the hook and the melody at the same time. And once I've gotten the hook and the melody, it is good as done. I've got that baby cooked and ready for dinner. And so if you're young, you're just getting into writing, or you have been writing for a while but just can't nail down the right time to write your material down, the first 5 to 10 minutes when that inspiration that is in its virgin state, pure and clean, You can hear the melody running through your mind like a river. It's playing like a symphony. You got to get that thing down because it's not going to be there forever. You've got to capture it in its infancy state, and then you got to work on it. You can always make changes, but you got to capture its essence. Capture it when it's fresh. And so the best time, that time window, 5 to 10 minutes when the inspiration is flowing. If it's dinner, you got to put down the knife and the fork. You got to put down that piece of steak or whatever you're eating and write that material down like your life depends on it. Write that material down because it could be the material that sets your career on a whole different level, a whole different trajectory. One song, one moment in time when you choose to be alert, to be conscious of what you do as a writer, to be conscious of the fact that this inspiration came to me, and now I